Anybody else wonder why fridge has a D in it, but refrigerator doesn't? Because I do. Makes me wonder a lot. But anyway, welcome back to automation. So today I'm going to be doing something as a part two, a follow up, since I have recently, well, recently I say, like 2 months ago, I bought a new car, and I have the creativity of the average household spoon. So I'm going to be doing my new car. My last video where I did the Fiesta seems to be a pretty popular one. It's my third best video in terms of views so far. So I'm going to do what I have now, which is the 2019 Hyundai Veloster 2.0 Premium 3-door. Hell of a name, right? It's a bit of a mouthful to say the full thing. And much like the Fiesta video, I do have the specs pulled up here on one of my other screens so that I can try to make this car as accurate as possible. And as I learned with the Fiesta build, automation actually does a pretty good job at getting these cars fairly accurate to their real life counterpart with not a whole lot of work. So, I mean, things it doesn't tell me, doesn't say panel material. I'm assuming it's a partial aluminum. Just kind of makes sense. It's a sports car. So, chassis also doesn't say. I'm not really 100%. I'm just going to go monocog just because it's a good option, I guess. And I guess AHS steel, we'll see where that gets me. It is a transverse engine, and it does have struts in the front and multi-link in the rear, if I'm remembering this correctly. We'll do a new engine. It is an inline 4, as you'd expect from a hatchback. I don't know what the block material is. We'll start with cast iron. We'll go from there. Does it say if it's dual or... Yes, dual overhead cam. And how many... And it's a 4 valve. Okay, so I got that right. Well, look at that. 2 liters. That was easy enough. But we're going to go with the actual measurements here. So the bore is 81 millimeters and the stroke is 97. There you go. 1.999, exactly as it shows on the spec sheet. All right. And I guess we'll go with that for now. I don't think it's cast. It doesn't say anything about this kind of stuff, so I'm going to just throw, I guess, balance shafts in there. And we shouldn't really need anything too fancy in internals. It's not exactly the most powerful engine in the world. Compression is 12.5 to 1, so we'll just go ahead and set that to that. Cam profile doesn't say. I'm just gonna leave it, and I mean, obviously it doesn't really say. I don't think that's an actual, like, real life specification for a car, at least not that I've really ever seen. And we'll set that around there. It does have VVT, it does not have EVL, so we won't be doing that. Mine is an A, unfortunately, because I couldn't afford the turbo versions. It is, I believe, multi-point. Yes, multi-point, and I guess we'll start with per cylinder. If that doesn't work, then we'll drop it down to single. It runs on regular fuel. I don't have fuel mix information, none of that. And where does it have the red line? It usually says somewhere. I think it's a 7,000 RPM red line. I think. I mean, I could go out and look, but it's hot outside, and I don't really feel like doing that. It's probably just got something basic like short cast. It's gonna have that, and I don't know how many mufflers it has. I'm just gonna go with one, I guess, straight through. Oh, cool. So we definitely have some issues. A lot of issues. So we need better internals. So let's try heavy. There we go. That's a little better. And I guess we need to up the crank a little bit. So we have a lot of knocking. Bring the fuel mix way up. See where that gets me? 128 horsepower. That's actually... So, let me bring that back down. How much fuel does this game want me to give this damn car? Like, holy hell. Bring the cams up, I guess, because again, I don't want to touch compression because that's exactly what it's supposed to be. Bring that up a little. Oh, I haven't touched the exhaust diameters yet. So 127. Oh, this is gonna be a pain in the dick. I can tell already. Performance intake. No, that's not gonna do it. I really don't want to take the cam profile all the way up to race. That just doesn't. So this could be one of the ones where it just doesn't meet the real life specs because this just isn't. I could do that. I might have to put it on premium fuel, which I don't use. But, well, I guess I have to set it to run with premium fuel, but bring it back down to 91 octane to get that kind of power out of it. Interesting. Well, I mean, there it is. How close am I on for torque? Yeah, it's a little down on torque, but only by about 10. So I'll call it good enough. I'm not going to mess around with it for too long. Got the power, got pretty close to the torque. That was just strange how I had to go about doing that. I probably did something wrong, but I don't want to spend the time to deal with it. So there obviously isn't going to be a 3-door option. At least I don't believe so. So we're going to have to go with the 4-door. That's probably going to affect the overall weight of it. It is front-wheel drive. Do I go with an auto manual? Because it does have the option for me to put it into manual mode if I want to. I think that's what this is supposed to be in place of the sequential. And it's a 6-speed, so we'll go with that. I don't know what it has for a diff. I'm going to throw a geared on there just for sports car-ness. And I guess medium compound. Oh, actually, is it on sports? I think currently it's actually on a sporty compound of tires, so we'll go with that. Does it say tire sizes on here? Because I don't remember off the top of my head what they are. So, 225s? Okay. So we'll go 225s. It has an 18-inch rim. I guess we'll go with that. They are alloy wheels. It's got vented discs front and rear. Or no, vented on the front, solid on the back. The front brakes are 280 millimeters, and they're solid on the back. I don't know if it's a 2-piston or not, but it's 262 on the rear, which we can't obviously do, so we'll go 265, and I have to bring the force down a little bit. Doesn't have any kind of an under tray on it. Actually, I mean, it does have a bit of a little, like, from factory diffuser on the back. So I guess I'll go with a sport under tray. I guess. It has the full seats. It does go with a premium interior with, I guess, standard infotainment. It doesn't have, like, the GPS or any fancy stuff like that in it. It does have power steering. I don't know if it's a hydraulic or electric. Does it say in here anywhere? I somehow doubt it. I guess I'll just throw electric. It does have traction control, ABS. I guess we'll go standard safety. And I guess like that, because again, it doesn't really have... Okay, so we're a bit heavy at the moment. By about 200 pounds, we are overweight in that regard. That probably has a lot to do with the interior. What are we looking at for price? Okay, and it's a bit more expensive than it would have been. I got mine... Well, no, I don't know what it'll be used. Or brand new. I got mine used at like 24,000, I think, something like that. Um, where can we save some weight? How much does that save me? And if I kill the quality a little bit, so I want to get down to, I think it's like 2,800 pounds. Yeah, 2,855. So that's actually close enough. So I'm just gonna go with that. And I guess the final thing is just going in and attempting to replicate my car. So let's hop over in here, and I'm gonna do some work, and I will be back with you in a bit.
1 hour later.
Alright, so I'm not really sure how long it's been that I've been working on this front end, but I think it's about as close as it's gonna get. I'm calling it good enough, and I'm gonna move on to the rear end. And I'm probably gonna start crying because the taillights on this car are gonna be a pain in the ass. Especially considering this car isn't exactly the right shape. Kind of flat back here. I'm going to see if I can morph some stuff to kind of sort of get it a little bit closer. But again, automation, it's not perfect. Never will be. I'm going to do what I can. And I'll be back with you hopefully within less than an hour. Best case scenario.
A little later.
Alright, there it is. I'm washing my hands of this one. The rear end of this car was basically impossible because of how the Velocitor's taillights are and the way automation places fixtures, so it kind of has like Audi taillights on it, and I'm not happy about it. Front end looks good. Like from this angle, right about here, it looks pretty close to my car. So I'm gonna roll with it and say it's perfect from here. Just don't look at the rear end. It's got a nasty ass on it. I'm not proud of it. But it is what it is. Game constraints. You know the drill. You do what you can. Doesn't always work out. But there it is. 2019 Hyundai Veloster. As accurate as it's going to get in this game. It's got the weight almost dead on. Same horsepower it's supposed to have. Same engine. Pretty sure same transmission. So yeah, I'm gonna throw it over into BeamNG and we'll see how things go from there. Alright, and here we are in Beam with my not-so-great attempt at a Hyundai Veloster. Again, I think I got the front end pretty well. Not so much back here. It's a bit of a failed project as far as I'm concerned, but I'm gonna see this thing through to the end and move on to the next one, I guess. So, I brought it to the drag strip because I'm mildly curious to see what this thing can do in the quarter mile. Probably not so great, but you know, we'll see what 147 horsepower can do. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised, but I don't think I'm going to be. Whoop. Forgot I was first gear already. Well, this is depressing. Oh, almost a 17 second. But that was also with me being stupid and forgetting I'm already in first gear. So, let's try that again, shall we? Well, this is turning out to be a quite the adventure for me to just drive in a straight line. We good? No? Now we are. Alright, let's try again, and I will try not to jump the start this time. That's much better than before. About what, 8-second 0 to 60, I think, something like that. 15.8. I mean, again, it's a bog standard 147 horsepower car. So, like, it is what it is. It's gonna suck. Oh, I am not doing this car any justice. It is so much fun to drive in real life compared to just how not great it is in this version. Who would have guessed? The automation BeamNG.drive version of a real car just isn't as exciting as the real thing. Not this guy. And I don't know what's going on with the sound. It's definitely a bit broke. It's almost like stuttering or skipping or something. I probably didn't have to even use the brakes for that corner. Oh, understeer. Now, I don't know if that's specifically the car, or if the fact I'm driving with a controller, because I know on controllers, you tend to end up going into, like, basically full lock very easily. And I don't know about you, but generally when I'm turning a car, I don't go full lock in one direction. So it kind of makes sense that the car is going to plow a little bit when you're doing that at a reasonably high speed. Oh, oh. I mean, if I wasn't such a shit driver, like, brakes on this thing are pretty good, which I'm kind of impressed by. I usually get that all fucked up, even using real-world dimensions for them. Oh god, that sound. I don't know if it's going to come through on the video in the way that I'm hearing it, but woof. It does not sound good. But I think that'll about do it for this one. I will say that this one actually does drive better than the Fiesta did. That one had some weird suspension characteristics for it. Kind of wobbled around and, like, hopped for some reason that I don't fully understand. But anyway, that's going to do it for this one. See y'all next time.